Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher Circus. Today we are going to be watching a match between myself and Sir Isaac Pendleton, a new face that we haven't played against before, and they are Darkest Rank, and they are playing quite a cool looking team. And what team am I playing? What team are you playing, Shepyard Doggy? Well, this is a completely new one as well. This was actually made by someone that's currently called Shepyard Doggy in the Discord server, so that's a pretty fun name, and this is the team they built, and this is the team they've been asking me to play for like a week or so. And I will say it's a pretty good one. So we are playing against what looks like a Mark team, kind of like a Halo comp but with an occultist instead, so still very capable, although albeit a bit different in terms of how it's going to play out. So we got to go first, which is obviously very good because we can drop our block of light immediately, and there's a few things we have to go over when looking at this team. So you have a Crusader in position 1, which is going to have Writ of Execution, Eagle Eye Talisman, and his goal is to just spam Zealous Accusation, be a very tanky boy, and support your team with Bork of Light and with the heal as well. Then we have an Abomination position 2, which is currently getting focused down, which has Wretch's Cloak and the Spike Chain, so he's very capable in terms of offense. Then we have an Antiquarian with the Tears of the Lost and the Finisher, so she's capable of getting death blows and also supports her team through the regen. And then we have a Highwayman in the back with the Grim Bandana and Monkey's Paw, so he has a little bit of extra accuracy, and he's also quite capable of doing a lot of damage. So the idea behind how this match is going is that I got to go first, so I went Bork of Light, and then I'm basically trying to keep this Abomination alive, making clever use of the regen to keep myself out of their store and not have to waste too many actions. And now I go for I will say an ingenious play, going for a slam on that Crusader, because the problem with Sir Isaac Pendleton's team here is that the Occultist doesn't do enough damage. The Occultist Weakening Curse usually does 2 to 3, but because I dropped the Bork of Light, I would never take enough damage because the protection debuff doesn't apply before the damage actually applies, so there's no way they would do 3 damage on that, even with a crit, so they do not get their store. But Shep, why don't they just drop a Finale? Well, I've already transformed once, and if you're playing a team like that, you don't want to drop a Finale for your first kill. You want to get a kill and then get a Finale. Because if you have to drop the Finale immediately, then the Jester is going to get stressed out, and your kill pressure is kind of going to go away for quite a little bit. So if you get a second kill Finale, it's obviously a hell of a lot better. So round 1 we tried to go Vendetta to reduce that Jester dodge. We failed, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. And now we just move forward with the Duelist Advance, doing some serious damage onto that Occultist, which is what we want. This team does stress, but it also does a lot of damage with its abilities, and that's what we want to have happen. So at this point I'm a little bit afraid for my Antiquarian, but since I get to go first, and since the Jester doesn't reach position 4, I can just click with her immediately and go for the Festering Vapors. Hopefully do a little bit of Blight, a little bit of DOT, you know? I could have dropped another Rejuvenating Vapors, but I felt like it wouldn't really be too necessary at this point, even if it would be good, because with Tears of the Lost, the regen lasts for 4 rounds, which doesn't sound like too much compared to it lasting for 3 rounds, but trust me, it makes the world of a difference. So here, Sir Isaac has still failed to secure a kill at this point, but they're gonna go for the Dirk Stab now, and this is a very smart Dirk Stab. It's obviously what you should do here. Focusing the Crusader at this point is very difficult because I have 35% protection and the Arbalest does not have Piercing Quarrel, so this Crusader, you kind of need to look at him as unbelievable amounts of tankiness, so he's never gonna be focused down here. I'm absolutely not scared of just hitting to riposte, which there aren't in this case, but I'm not scared of letting him eat a Holy Lance, eat a Sniper Shot. As long as he's not marked, he shouldn't take too much damage. So now comes the Sniper Shot onto our Antiquarian, and yes, we do get dropped to death's door, but it's not the end of the world. Now you might be thinking, oh yeah, you can just click and you can go Festering Vapors, but I won't. I'm gonna go for a Protect Me onto this Highwayman. And why is that? Just like the Winter Bliss TOT team, this team is very dependent on the Antiquarian for the death blows. She's pretty much the only character that has a good death blow chance. Crusader also has Writ of Execution, which gives you a little bit of a better chance, but without the Antiquarian, you're gonna lose that very decent killing power of having a 50% on everyone with your Festering Vapors, also quite accurate with the finisher accuracy. So it is in your best interest to keep her alive for as long as possible. And in this situation, Sir Isaac just realizes that, okay, I'm not gonna get a kill unless I drop Finale. This character is just too difficult to take down here. And what they could have done is they could have dropped a Dirk Stab, but after the Dirk Stab I could have healed again with the Crusader. After I healed with the Crusader, their damage with the Occultist wouldn't be sufficient, and they would just have no way of getting a kill. It would be very, very difficult for the team that Isaac has here to just pull that off, so they just drop a Finale, and of course I would still have Regen again, I would transform again, then it would surely be over. But yeah, since that didn't happen, after the Finale is dropped, I go for Zealous Accusation before I can't, because there's 2 stun triggers on my Crusader, I believe, so there's no way I'm ever going to resist the stun. So I just go for my Zealous Accusation, make sure that I drop that Occultist very close to this door, make sure that I do more damage to this Crusader. And the Crusader, between eating a Fetching Vapors here and there, between eating a Slam and a Zealous Accusation, he's already down to very low amounts of HP, and that is really, really important for us to win this match. So the Occultist tries to heal himself, only heals for 1, which is very, very good, means the DOT will still bring him down to 0. And this is still a very close match, and the reason it's a very close match is because I haven't really done too much stress. I've lost the character, and I have a character close to their store. If I click my HIGHWAYMAN now, the guard will go away, so it will be possible to focus Antiquarian down. I do still have to regen, but I'm gonna click the stun before that happens. I want to let my opponent act here, because they're not in a very good place either. The Cult is dropping down to 0, the Crusader will be dropping down to 0 if I drop a Duelist Advance, for example. The Jester is dazed, which is quite good for me. And I think that Isaac here is actually gonna go for a Flare, if I remember correctly, just to remove that daze. And yes, it will be a Flare to remove the daze on the Jester, which is an interesting move. But I will admit that having a Jester dazed for 3 rounds really limits your gameplay potential, so to speak. It really does limit it, because you have to go for an action you don't want to go for, and that really sucks when you're playing damage teams. When you're playing stress teams, it's kind of okay, especially against other stress teams, but when playing damage teams, it's absolutely horrible. So here I just dropped the Duelist Advance because there's no more Arbalest action. I'm not in any huge danger of just dying here with my Antiquarian. I don't fear the death blow too much at the moment, and here comes the solo. So the reason behind this is obviously to kill my Antiquarian, because after a Holy Land there will be a Weakening Curse that I could potentially get death blow, but I just noticed that this was kind of just a bait, and that Isaac wouldn't really go for that, for that Holy Lance into Weakening Curse, because if you do that and you do not get the death blow, you're gonna have 2 characters at death's door, and if you have 2 characters at death's door against an Antiquarian with Festering Vapor's finisher, she might just get a double death blow on the spot, and then you immediately lose. There was also no other good targets for this Jester, because this team is quite defensive if you look at it. This is a very well built team. I do like the way it's been set up. The Crusader is extremely tanky, because I got to drop the Bulwark of Light first, and the HIGHWAYMAN has a riposte, so hitting into the HIGHWAYMAN right now is pretty much suicidal. So the Occultist thankfully didn't do enough damage with that pull, so I'm not forced to click on my Antiquarian immediately, which I'm quite happy about, and here I just go for a point-blank shot. Now, the idea behind this point-blank shot is that now you can't hit my Antiquarian again. She's in position 1, so you have reach issues, essentially. Crusader can't hit her, and the Arbalest can't hit her, so I'm perfectly fine here. And even if you go for a heal at this point, I do still have my Holy Lance, and after the Holy Lance you have 2 characters which are dropping to their store from the Blights. You have a character at their store and almost afflicted, so this team is very, very potent at making your opponent waste turns on healing rather than attacking you, and that's really what you want. And you also want to make sure that your targets don't feel soft to hit into, and this team really doesn't have soft targets. Crusader is obviously a naturally very, very tanky character, and with the Bulwark of Light, I mean, look, I just got a crit, I'm at 50 prot and 41 HP, like, that is very difficult to punch your way through. And normally you'd have 2 riposte characters activated with the Abomination and the HIGHWAYMAN, so playing into this again with some sort of DOT spam like Fetching Vapors and Houndsary is very, very difficult indeed. And the Antiquarian is also not too easy of a character to take down. The Tears of the Lost does give her some survivability, and she can always use that Protect Me and Take Cover. I think you should bring both of those instead of bringing, for example, the Nervous Stab, because you have other tools to deal with protection if there is a lot of protection on the enemy team. I feel like the Protect Me is really, really powerful here. If you do have a riposte character like the HIGHWAYMAN, Protect Me just gets a lot of value out of it. So here comes a Dirk Stab, and my Antiquarian is going to drop down to 0. I have ran out of regen, which is quite sad. It would be nice if Tears of the Lost lasted for a bit longer, and here I'm going to go for a gamble. So my gamble was that there could be an act out in terms of extra stress from one of Isaac's characters, and that would kill the Jester with the stress from Zealous Accusation. But there was no act out, so the Jester is gonna stay alive, and now he has a chance of going for a 60% death blow. Does it work? Yes, it does, and it comes with a crit as well, which means that after my duelist advance, I won't be able to grape shot. I'll just have to go for a point blank shot, but there is a double death blow with the grape shot blast, which is really quite good. I hit all the characters even though I only have 98 accuracy, and I get 2 death blows. Of course, they were a bit overkill. The Jester was dead anyway to the stress, and the Occultist, even after he healed, he would die to a Zealous, so it was over for him anyway. Now Fearful has a pass, which is really quite bad, and now I'm given a choice here. Do I want to go Duelist Advance, get my Repulse back up, put the Crusader in position 2, which is the only position that the opponent can hit at the moment, and essentially make them have a really horrible time trying to take me out? Or do I just drop a Grape Shot? Grape Shot wasn't a confirmed hit chance, so I just drop a Duelist Advance and take my opponent out. So this was a very, not the closest match, but this could have really derailed earlier on during the match. So I played 2 matches, but the first one was not quite as cool. This could have really derailed if I didn't use my actions correctly. And that's what I like about this team. It has a lot of potential for making good plays, because I was really 100% focused playing this match because I'm not too familiar with the characters or the team, but it's really a quite one. Its major weakness is that it doesn't really have like a Man-at-Arms or a Flagellant for tankiness, and it also doesn't have like Bounty Hunter Oracles for marks, so it's a bit untraditional. It's a bit difficult to make work if you're more used to the meta teams, and it also doesn't have accuracy buffs, which is quite a difficult thing to make use of. It also doesn't have the best kill potential, but it has good kill potential. That's what matters. It has good kill potential between all the damage it can do and all the all the stress it can do as well. It definitely does have some potential. So one of the coolest things about this team is that, I'm not sure if we got to see it too much, but the Crusader with those Zealous Accusations just absolutely shredding through the opponent's side. I do remember there's being one after the finale, so let me go have a look at that. He was mostly delegated to healing duty, so that was well played by my opponent. You definitely don't want him using the Zealous Accusation, because it just does a lot of damage with these 2 trinkets. You can see the damage rolls are 9 to 14 on that Occultist. If you get a crit on that, you're gonna pretty much do 18 damage and like how much stress? Like 33 stress. It is absolutely insane if you let this Crusader do the Zealous Accusations. And of course you have to focus the other characters down because they're all very, very powerful as well. So yeah, that is going to be today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a very cool match, and this is a very cool team. Definitely do try it out. And its major weakness might be its lack of accuracy, but it does have some ways of countering it. The Crusader has Writ of Execution and Eagle Eye Talisman, which gives him plus 18 accuracy, which puts him at a reasonably good value. The Abomination does have the Wretch's Cloak, so he's okay in terms of accuracy. It's not like he's a WD Abomination. He has some decent accuracy with the Wretch's Cloak. The Highwayman has Vendetta and the Monkey's Paw, so he does have some decent accuracy buffs on there, as well as having the Vendetta debuff, so that could come in handy for you. And the Antiquarian will always have that finisher accuracy when she wants to go for the death blows, so overall you're not going to suffer the most if you go against some sort of dodge team, because they usually also have some DOT spam, so between 2 repulse it's going to be quite good for you. So yeah, that is all for today. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.